Everything technology, from computers to mobile phones, TVs and the internet. Information you want, all the help you need. Your Tech Life with Trevor Long.
Welcome to Your Tech Life, and today I'm looking at the iPad 2. Available Friday 25th of March, which is tomorrow, on the recording of this, at 5 o'clock from Apple stores and Apple resellers in Australia. Best thing of all, of course, is the price. The price, it's cheaper than the original iPad. But you know all these things. Let's look at the basics here. The device is remarkably thinner than the original iPad. It's actually not visibly thinner. When you look at it on the side, it doesn't distinctly look thinner, but it's when you sit them side by side that you can tell how remarkably thinner it really is. There's millimeters there in the difference between the two. It doesn't feel remarkably lighter in your hand, but it is lighter. When you start to notice the device's differences is when you compare them side by side in terms of speed. Obviously the feature set, this one has a camera. So let's look at quickly a couple of things. Very important, the smart cover. This is the leather smart cover. Now this is actually magnetic inside it, so that when you do things like the triangle to prop it up, it magnetizes as it clicks, and that holds the triangle together. But the most important thing about the cover, of course, is actually how it works on the iPad. So it's a simple click attachment. It can't click anywhere else because the magnets are specifically lined up, and when it lays down, the iPad goes into sleep mode. You can actually, in the settings, choose not to use that option. It will not go to sleep and not wake up automatically. But that's the point here, is that when you close the cover, it goes to sleep. When you open the cover, it opens up, and you don't have to click and slide. And of course, you roll the cover up on itself, you've got your triangle, and there you have a great resting point for the iPad. Much easier to use than the original iPad cover, and it doesn't cover up the iPad. And it also works as an upright stand as well, as you can see there. So you've got the option of going sideways or long ways, both reasonably supportive. I've got to be honest, I think it's a wonderfully it's a great idea, but I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe with the iPad. I feel like I'm going to scratch it. I'm going to drop it. I already feel like I've scratched it. And most importantly, don't be fooled by the magnets. They're not going to hold onto it well. I've already caught myself holding it like this, thinking that it's connected because you're so used to your case being connected, but it's actually not, and it will come off. So be very careful about that. Look. It's a great cover. They're pricey. The polyurethane ones and the leather ones, different prices, but most people will buy that purely for what it is. Look, side by side, these devices are remarkably different. But when how many people are comparing them side by side? So, getting away from the iPad 1, one of the key differences with the iPad 2 is the camera. Front up the top here, very small, simple VGA camera, and on the back, a camera that will do stills and 720p high definition video recording. Now, there's a couple of basic obvious apps here that have been integrated into the device. FaceTime, obviously you can make FaceTime calls to a Mac or an iPhone 4 or another iPad 2, and that works well. I tested it earlier with Stephen Fennick. Look, the quality I wasn't dramatically impressed with, but certainly the concept is there, and that's why the cameras exist. Apple are putting a lot behind the FaceTime technology. Now, one though that my son loves for a start, and I think that's really what this app is for, and this, by the way, the cover magnetically clips on the back as well. So this is the photo booth application. So essentially what you get here is a whole stack of different options with the photo booth, and as I pointed around at the screen there, you can see the thermal camera, the X-ray, and all the different distorted effects. And when you get into the distorted effects, you can actually manipulate them with multi-touch. Let's go back there. I'll show you the light tunnel. You can move the direction of the light tunnel. You can make it bigger and smaller, and then you can even twist it. So there's some real amazing effects you can do with the photo booth. That's going to be a huge hit with the kids, which is pretty cool. Now, outside of those two apps, FaceTime and Photo Booth, I think the key applications for the iPad 2 are applications you have to buy, $5.99. They're worth nothing compared to what they are, and they are iMovie and GarageBand. You have to see these to believe them. The iMovie application takes the iPhone iMovie to a whole new level with full screen editing. It is fantastic. and it allows you to do audio editing. The themes are fantastic. You can put music in. It does everything you could possibly want to do in a very basic video editing situation. And then GarageBand, well, I just can't even begin to tell you how amazing that is. For a non-music person to have a good amount of fun and to actually be able to play some reasonable music, shall I say, using what I call the smart instruments. Really does prove what an amazing piece of software technology it is. Essentially, the smart instruments know what notes go together. So I've got here a smart guitar, and it knows that the F, C, G chords run well together, and so it allows me to play them. And you're not making an idiot of yourself when you're strumming away. A great app, worth researching, having a good look into if you love mucking around with music. Look, in the end, it's a fantastic device. Well worth it if you're in the market for an iPad, because it's cheaper than the iPad 1 was. But if you can still find an iPad 1 around and you don't want FaceTime, still a great buy, the iPad 1.